Good morning, friends. Good morning. Welcome to the Boise Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. I'm the Reverend Sara LaWall. It is my great honor to serve this beloved community. Welcome to our annual Apple Communion. Welcome newcomers for your first time. This is a tradition of a multi-generational service that we do every year on the Sunday before Thanksgiving. So multi-generational means kids and grown-ups, we all are in the space together today. So young people, don't forget, we have our playground carts, 3 today, so help yourselves. But there's going to be a lot of participation, and I'm going to need your help today. So make sure that you also allow your hands to be free when we get to our story time, because I'm going to need your help today. We're going to get things started a little bit differently, and we're going to sing some hymns first this morning. So I invite us to rise, embody your spirit, and sing together hymn number 1010 in our teal hymnal. Words will also be on your screens. Oh, we give thanks. Community, those of you that are worshiping with us on Zoom, let's turn around and give a wave and give a heart. Thank you for being there, reminding us that we worship as one beloved community beyond the walls of this sanctuary. We also give thanks for our hospitality volunteers, so many this morning. Kathy Sherman, Aaron Logan, Sue Philly, Kathy Sandstrom, Christine Pizer. Thank you all. We invite everyone to have a turn being part of our hospitality team, and you can find signups in the hospitality room. Today, after the service, our Refugee and Immigrant Justice Ministry team have pulled together a community holiday bazaar all the way down at the end of the North Hall. So when you go and get your coffee and tea, head on down to the bazaar to do some early Christmas shopping. There will be the treats down there to tempt you in. We have a host of community organizations and groups like Artisans for Hope with us selling handmade crafts, some of them made right here by New Americans, some of them made in other countries, where all of the money will go back to support those collectives. So we hope that you will join us for this beautiful bazaar. It's going to be beautiful, and they've decorated. It's gorgeous in there. Deborah's already done her shopping. She did a little sneak peek. And then join us Sunday, December 3rd for our annual Deck the Halls party and potluck. That's when we decorate our sanctuary together. We invite kids and families. We have crafts. We make our annual paper chain. And new this year, one of our new friends is hosting a decoration exchange. So if you're a little bit tired of your holiday decorations and are looking for something new but don't want to pay or buy new things, bring some old decor here, exchange it with others, take some new decor home and enjoy it for this season. It'll be a fun little decoration swap. So we hope you will join us for those holiday events. Let's sing again. Let's rise again, embody our spirit. Let's sing together hymn number 6 and your gray hymnal words also on the screen, Just As Long As I Have Breath.
We come from and live on land considered sacred by indigenous people known as Bannock, Paiute, Shoshone, and many other tribes that lived here sustainably for thousands of years. We strive to understand and reframe our responsibilities to land, to community. In the spirit of respectful reciprocity, we honor the original caretakers of this place. We affirm the relationships we have to each other, including our relations to animals and insects that inhabit the water, land, and sky. We recognize the relationship, the responsibility to quiet creeks, rushing rivers, rustling grasses, to sprawling forests, to the brilliant palettes of the sky, to the roots that grip the soil, to the earth beneath our feet. Water is life. To all of us affected by the boarding school revelations, may we be granted compassionate understanding. May we find healing in the harm that lives in our history. We honor and support the right to sovereignty for our indigenous neighbors. We acknowledge that a land acknowledgement is not enough. Now, let us breathe together. Let us take a moment to enjoy the delicious air, the oxygen provided by tree. Hold to the warm light of sun. Consider the solidity, the groundedness of earth. Flow with refreshing, life-giving water. Let the mud settle. Find clarity of mind and spirit. Welcome our ancestors. Enjoy this present moment together.
Our spiritual theme for this month is wilderness, the practice of getting lost. It seems that at this time in the life of our society, we're experiencing a kind of collective wilderness. The world feels inhumane, and we think we are not doing enough. And then, I am not doing enough. That's when we get swallowed up in our own righteous impatience with how the world is not responding to our urgent demands for justice, for my own inadequate attempts to live into justice. We get lost in anger when nothing feels like it is going right or working out the way we'd hope, and all we can do is storm away and dream of a world where we can be in charge. I go from righteous indignation to guilt to daydreaming about an escape to utopia at least a dozen times a day. That's the wild things calling to us. They invite us to get lost in the faraway land of imagination where we can let loose and stomp and roar and, most important, command our world. We play at being the boss of the world until, tired of our own spent fury and glorified egos, there is nothing left to do but to come home. And here we are, home. Like a beacon in the wilderness, our chalice lights the way for so many fellow Unitarian Universalists across land and sea. We light it today to remind us that ours is a religion that welcomes your righteous impatience and all the so-called childish ways you act out with wildness, play, and imagination. As Louis Lawson lights the chalice here in our sanctuary, I invite those of you in our virtual community to light a chalice, if you have one nearby, along with us this morning, and then share in the chat where your chalice is lit. With our collective chalices lit in all our spaces, we offer you this call to worship from Melanie Davis, who serves as our Unitarian Universalist Association Director of the Whole Lives Program Management. I didn't quite say that right. She is the manager of the Whole Lives Program, which will be beginning again shortly for our junior high youth. Under the right circumstances, playing with fire is a delight. Imagine being gathered round a fire pit as the crackling flames invite us to sing, dance, and roast a marshmallow or two. Our chalice also invites us to play, although with ideas rather than with marshmallows. The flame encourages us to explore who we are, who our neighbors are, and where we are on our spiritual journeys. Today, we light this chalice in the spirit of play. Let us trust the light to guide us in this hour and in the days to come, finding joy along the way. Come, let us worship together. I invite you to rise again in body or spirit and sing together the familiar words we hear every week that serve as a spiritual resting place when we find ourselves lost in wilderness times. Please rise.
getting so good at that song. It's going to be perfect by next week. As part of our service this morning, we are pleased to welcome those who have chosen to become members of our congregation, members of our congregation of Wild Things. Whether born into Unitarian Universalism or having come to it later in life, when you decide to become a member of a Unitarian Universalist congregation, you do so of your own choosing, which makes it an important and unique decision. This fellowship is a free religious congregation covenanting together to support each other in our search for truth, meaning, and spiritual growth. We do not subscribe to a creed or dogma, but are guided by values and principles to help affirm and promote the fulfillment of our highest aspirations and deepest beliefs as we strive for beloved community where no one is a stranger. I'm going to invite Jen Salisbury, our current board president, up here. And I would like some help from our young people to welcome our members today. I need young folks to help hand out these bags over here. As new members who are joining us, you can come over that table. I'll meet you right there. Thanks, Carissa. As Jan reads our names aloud, we invite you to come forward, line up on the chancel space as far as you can get behind us. Move this baby out of the way. Not you. You're going to stay at the table. My young people at the table. And we'll hand you your bags, and we'll have you stay up here for the duration of the ceremony.
Okay, want me to go now? Yes. Velez Bird, please. Linda DeMont. Richard Furborn. Sherry Hamilton. Ernest Hamilton. Anil Kapoor. Renuka Kapoor. David Shropshire. And Karen Shropshire. Excuse me.
Come and line up right here, new members, right here.
Yep, right in back here. Here we go. Did I miss you? Barbara Liu. Thank you. Thanks to our youth for helping out here. This is an important moment in the life of this congregation. Each of you have chosen to be part of this community, sharing in the privileges and responsibilities of membership. In joining this congregation, your story is added to this living local tradition of over 100 years, which is part of the larger Unitarian faith, which came into being more than 500 years ago. As new members of this community, we invite you to join the traditions, activities, and the work of this congregation. Members of the UU Fellowship, will you covenant together to welcome these new members before you, to be open and inclusive, respecting their inherent dignity, their ideas and vision, in times when it is easy and in times when it is difficult? If so, please say, "We will."
Yes, good job. To our young people, if you will welcome these members and show them around to all the best spots in the fellowship and help them get acquainted and learn about your world and the world of this fellowship, will you please say, "We will"? Thank you. And you guys can return to your seats. Thanks. To our new members, in return, we ask that you recognize our humanity. We will not always live up to our ideals, and when we fall short, we invite you to stay in relationship with us and help us more fully bring alive the spirit of love. We welcome you as equal members of this congregation, this faith, and of our shared spiritual journey. If you accept this role of membership at the Boise UU Fellowship and covenant to affirm and promote the values and principles of our Unitarian Universalist tradition, to contribute your time, talent, and resources toward making ours a creative, caring, loving, compassionate, joyous community, please say, "We will." Yes, I would like us to invite all of us to rise and join together in reciting the membership affirmation. You have a little card in your bags which has that affirmation written on it, this welcome card right here on the back. And the words are on the screen for everyone else. As members of this fellowship, our commitment to our UU principles shapes our true purpose in being together. We will continue to minister to one another, bringing our whole selves to this endeavor. We renew our covenant to seek and speak the truth in love, nurture spiritual growth, and practice justice within, among, and beyond these walls. Amen. Thank you. Welcome, new members. We are so glad to have you.
When we give, we say yes to the natural cycle of abundance in our lives, and we say yes to building beloved communities within and beyond our walls. We commit ourselves to do work for justice and compassion for all people on our earth. Today, we share those gifts with our plate partner, Giraffe Laugh, as an expression of the commitment and living out our faith in the world. I invite the ushers to come forward. Our offering will be gratefully received.
Welcome to Where the Wild Things Are, an interactive community storytelling adventure where all are invited to channel your inner wild thing. And join us on this journey of imagination and creative expression. Together, we will create a playful space where we can let out some frustration and anger, perhaps, that gets bottled up inside. You, my beloved wild things, will have a participatory role today. I first want to invite all the young people who want to participate in this story to come up front here with me. Come right down here. I have some things to give you. Oh. I want this. Yeah. Okay, young people, you and I will be the Maxes of the story today. So there's some costume pieces here for a few of you that you can wear to signify that you're Max, okay, when the time is right. So help yourself to these things out here. We're going to be the Maxes together. You, my friends, will be the wild things. And you will also help with storytelling support. There are all kinds of wonderful little things hidden under your chairs. Those things will be used throughout the story, primarily in our mischief making and in our wild rumpus and in the forest. So you just follow along my invitations and you'll know what to do. There's a lot of musical instruments out there. You can make quiet mayhem at any time, but the musical mayhem will have to be contained to the musical moments. All right, let our adventure begin. Welcome to Where the Wild Things Are. Oh, you guys are in it already.
Okay, we have to begin the story. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another.
It's mischief-making time, everybody. Make some mischief. You have things in there. You can throw them around. Yes, making the mischief. Good job.
His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said,
I'll eat you up. Do you want to stand up?
and so he was sent to bed without eating anything.
Yeah.
And that very night, in Max's room, a forest grew and grew.
If you see forest things out there, would you go collect part of the forest and bring it up here?
Carissa, here's some forest over here.
There's some over there with Molly. Bring the forest up.
Bring them back to the room.
The forest grew and grew.
Come, grow the forest. Grow the forest. Until his ceiling hung with vines, and the walls became the world all around. And then an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max.
There's our boat. We're going to go on a boat ride. Come on.
And he sailed off through night and day.
Max says we're sailing.
Come on, Max, go sail. Sail the ocean blue. And they sailed in and out of weeks and almost over a year to where the wild things are.
Stand up. You need to stand up. We're going to stand up because we're at where the wild things are.
All are welcome to go on this adventure to where the wild things are. We're going to sing together. Come, and go with me with newly adapted lyrics for the land of the wild things. Please rise as you are able and sing along.
Well, Maxes, we have arrived at the land of the wild things, and the wild things have multiplied. So let us continue. Let us continue with our story.
When Max came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars.
Okay, hold on, wild things. We're gonna have a little competition. Max says, I need your help directing the wild things. This side's gonna roar, this side's gonna roar. We're gonna have a little roaring competition. Ready? Max says, get up, let's help our wild things. Ready? Here we go.
And gnashed their terrible teeth.
Yeah, you can do this. This side. Yeah, good.
And rolled their terrible eyes. And showed their terrible claws.
This side.
Till Max said, be still.
Tell them. Tell them. Okay, let's try it again. Tell them. Be still. Okay, one more. Let's see if we can do it one more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Be still. Okay, good, good.
and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once.
Stare into their eyes. Can you stare into their eyes without blinking? I can't do that.
Make your eyes wide, wild things. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all, and made him king of all the wild things.
It's only a few. Okay, turn around and face your wild things. Turn around and face your wild things. Okay. We're ready. We're kings.
Now, wild things, you will cheer and bow and salute as best you can. Very good. And now, cried Max,
What did Max say? Do you know? No. What did Max say? Let
the
the
wild
wild rumpus. It's a rumpus. Start.
Let the wild rumpus start.
Wild things. Hold on, wild things. So good. Wild things, wild things. We're going to create a wave of rumpus. You're going to get instructions on the screen, so follow me in the screen. Okay, everybody first. Roar, roar, roar. Next one. Oh, you
Next one is relation. And mash.
Mash.
And pound.
Maxes, you need help. I need help, Maxes.
And now a unison howl.
Okay, Maxes, face.
And now a silly stomp.
Just be silly.
Now stop, Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper.
Wild thing.
And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely. Can you guys look lonely? And wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. Give up your crowns.
We're not king anymore. Gave it up.
But the wild things cried. Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so. And Max said, no. The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye.
Goodbye.
And sailed back over a year Go sailing. Go sailing. Sailed over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day and into the night of his very own room. Where he found his supper waiting for him, and it was still hot.
Wow, y'all, you didn't need much direction. You are incredible wild things. Didn't that feel good? Yes, to let that inner wild thing out, especially with other people, makes it a little more fun. It's so important for us to play. And as we get older, we kind of forget about that sometimes. We forget about how good it feels to just let loose and be silly and laugh and have some fun and roar. Because we somehow get sucked into this idea that we have to be serious and take care of everything and work all the time and make all the money and help save the world from its own destruction. Or maybe some of you who aren't quite there yet get sometimes sucked into that idea that you have to get straight A's and do all the extra activities and be great at them. And make sure you get into college and get a good job so you can work all the time and make the money and be serious and save the world because your parents couldn't. Or maybe we're just trying to figure out who we are. And we don't feel at home in our own bodies or in ourself, and something inside us feels off or sad or frustrated. Maybe we're afraid of how others might judge us or are already judging us or teasing. Maybe we're afraid we'll lose some friends or some family even. And maybe this sounds like I'm describing a problem for young people, but I can tell you right now that I am 48 years old and I have a lot of those same worries and fears. And sometimes it feels like too much to hold. It's a lot of pressure. And the anxiety and the depression and the frustration that can build up inside of us, it has nowhere to go. So I'm glad that we got to roar and stomp and yell and howl and play together. Because sometimes I feel self-conscious and silly about doing that all by myself, even in my car. And so a whole group of us doing together lets us kind of blend in and let loose maybe in a little differently than we would if we were alone. Because we know we can't keep those heavy, big feelings locked away inside. Because then they start to build up, and what happens is then they make us feel even more alone, and more frustrated, and more angry, and more sad, and we don't know what to do or where to go, and we forget that we have people just like us who are having their own struggles and feeling alone and angry and sad and are keeping all of that hidden away. We forget that there are others out there like us. And we can forget that we have people who love us no matter what. And that's the essential core of the universalist side of our UU faith, that second you. That we are worthy of love, period. And none of those other things really matter in the grand scheme of life. Nothing but love. That love of self, that's so hard to find sometimes. A heart full of love, a world full of love, the love that is always there, even when we can't always see it or feel it. And our story today helps us remember that even when we feel really far away from that love, stuck where the wild things are, the wild things that sometimes rage inside of us, we can always come home. Wherever that home is for you, and one of those homes is right here. This church, this community, this faith. And when we come home, there's nourishment, this home's version of supper, and it will be waiting for you. And it might be in apples and communion rituals we do together to signify seasons of our year. It might be in singing. That nourishment might be in stories and play. It might be in silence and prayer. It might be in coffee and treats. How wonderful that we have so many different ways to nourish our hearts and souls and bodies. You can always come home, and love will always be here waiting. And so we share in that love, we remind ourselves of that love that is always here and always waiting for us when we do communion rituals together. We remind ourselves that an act of communion is both individual and collective. Those rituals anchor us to deeper truths, to our spiritual center. They remind us of that holy interdependence and that interconnected web of all existence, humans, nature, animals, our planet. Part of the beauty of any communion ritual is joining together. So we are going to join together today. We invite you to come up and choose an apple and head back to your seat, but don't take a bite yet. We're going to do that all together. So you'll get to take a bite in just a moment, but just take your apple back to your seat together. So we'll invite you to come forward into our forest and forage for apples.
You can hold my hand when you need to let go. I can be a mountain when you're feeling valley low. I can be a street light showing you the way home. 'Cause you can hold my hand when you need to let go. Want a house with a crowded table and a place by the fire for everyone. Let us take
get an apple. There's plenty up here, so if you did not get an apple, please come up and help yourself. So let's take a moment to tune in to this beautiful apple. Give it a smell at the stem. Sometimes it's where you can smell it best. Feel its weight in your hands. Apples carry a lot of symbolism in traditions and mythologies. They're symbols of beauty and sweetness and hope for community. They're seen as the fruit of wisdom in some and the fruit of love. So as we get ready to take a bite together, I want you to take a moment to welcome all that love that lives here in this house, in this community, and inside of you. Welcome it in, tune into that love, and let's bite on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. You know, just like life, sometimes you bite that apple and it's sweet and amazing, and sometimes you bite that apple and it's a little bitter. And you're like, I did not want that. It's life. There's still love there, even in that bitterness. So while you are enjoying your nourishment of love, we're going to invite you into a time of active prayer. So you can keep eating your apples. But Deborah and I are going to offer this prayer to you. This prayer, much like this service, has become a tradition for me since I first heard it in church 18 years ago. It's become the blessing that our family says every year at our Thanksgiving table. It celebrates the bounty in our lives, friendship, joy, love, and the obvious splendor and the ordinary hidden beauty of life. It was written by the now deceased Reverend Max Coots, whose words live on. This is Let Us Give Thanks.
Let us give thanks for a bounty of people.
For children who are our second planting, and though they grow like weeds and the wind too soon blows them away, may they forgive our cultivation and fondly remember where their roots are.
Let us give thanks for generous friends with hearts and smiles as bright as their blossoms.
For feisty friends as tart as apples. For continuous friends who, like scallions and cucumbers, keep reminding us that we've had them.
For crotchety friends, sour as rhubarb and as indestructible. For handsome friends who are as gorgeous as eggplants and as elegant as a row of corn. And the others, as plain as potatoes and so good for you.
For funny friends who are as silly as Brussels sprouts and as amusing as Jerusalem artichokes.
For serious friends, as unpretentious as cabbages, as subtle as summer squash, as persistent as parsley, as delightful as dill, as endless as zucchini, and who, like parsnips, can be counted on to see you through the winter.
For old friends nodding like sunflowers in the evening time, and young friends coming on as fast as radishes.
For loving friends who wind around us like tendrils and hold us despite our blights, wilts, and witherings. And finally, for those friends now gone, like gardens past that have been harvested, but who fed us in their times, that we might have life thereafter. For all of these we give thanks. Amen. Now let us sing our thanks and eat and sing. And maybe finish your bite, we'll sing a little, and then you can come back to it. We're going to sing a community favorite, Now Let Us Sing. And the lyrics, I'm going to point to the lyrics here. There are two parts, and one is an echo. The echo is in italics. And so hopefully you'll get the you'll get the gist of it when we go through once. Many of you already know this song, and then it'll just repeat with one different word in each verse. So let us rise in body or spirit, and let us sing of the love that lives here. Friends, I invite you to place a hand, both hands, whatever hands you have over your heart for our closing blessing. When the times of the wild things grow within you, find ways to let them loose, to celebrate all of who you are, and to know that love lives in you and love lives here. Blessed are we all. Go in peace.
Yeah, it's just stuck on there. Yeah, it was. Yeah, there was a lot of that.